This is the Boeing 757. As you can see, it's 60 tons of pure freedom. And this is its Soviet knockoff. These two planes were designed in the 80s to compete with each other, but which one is really better? Now, the 757 has been involved in a total of 13 accidents where the plane was destroyed, and in total, upwards of 1,500 people have perished on a 757. In contrast, the Tu-204 has only had one fatal crash, Red Wings Flight 9268. The flight consisted only of crew and left 5 deceased when the plane overran the runway on landing. So you might be thinking, well, obviously the Tu-204 is much safer. Wrong. So just because there were less crashes does not mean the Tu-204 has a better safety record. You see, upwards of 1,000 Boeing 757s have been built, having operated millions of flight hours around the world. However, the Tu-204's operation is much more localized. There have only been about 90 built, serving only a handful of airlines. So actually, the 757 would be considered safer due to its proven reliability and the sheer amount of flights it has operated. Okay, I'm just kidding. The Tu-204's cockpit isn't that bad at all. It actually looks pretty similar to the 757. I mean, it has all the digital displays, the MCP looks pretty up to date, all the technology is there. One thing I'd like to point out is this very interesting looking yoke. It doesn't look like the standard yoke design you see on Boeing's. It kind of looks like the design of the Airbus side stick where you have a fixed point of rotation, which is interesting. I really wonder why they went with this design. And of course, the 757 cockpit, which we all know and love. In my opinion, one of the most beautifully designed cockpits ever. Yes, it's true. The 757 has flown for over 200 airlines in its lifespan. Although this number is much smaller nowadays because, you know, they stopped making them, it's still more than the number of airlines the Tu-204 has flown for in its entire existence. The 757 has been operated by large American carriers such as United, American, and Delta. Overseas, it flew for airlines like British Airways, Condor, and Iceland Air. Delta is the largest operator of the 757 as of present day, with almost 130 of the aircraft type in their fleet. The Tu-204 is only operated by 5 airlines today, being Cubana de Aviación, Business Aero, Rusjet, Rusair, and of course, Air Koryo. The most popular 757 by far is the -200 variant. Additionally, there's the 757-300, which is essentially a newer, elongated version of the -200. In the cargo world, the 757-200 PF and SF are the most common variants. A shorter 757-100 was also proposed, but it never came into fruition. On the Soviet side, the base Tu-204 came first. Then came the -100 version, which was improved with better fuel efficiency and avionics. The -200 variant was a stretched version with a longer range for medium-haul markets. And the -300 was a shortened version comparable to the A319. The range of the 757-200 is about 500 miles more than the 757-300 at about 3,900. And another 1,000 miles more than that, surprisingly, is the Tu-204's max range. It completely blows away the competition at more than 5,000 miles. The record for the longest route the 757 has ever operated was held by Mexicana Airlines. They flew the -200 from Buenos Aires to Mexico City, which took almost 10 hours. The Tu-204's longest flight record was Vladivostok Air's route from Vladivostok to Moscow, covering 3,400 miles. But both of these airlines are dead now, and neither of these routes are still operational. In the 1980s, a brand new 757-200 could cost anywhere from $50 to $80 million, depending on configuration and other factors. And adjusted for today's inflation, that could be more than $150 million. Since production of the aircraft was ended in 2004, there are no brand new 757s today. However, some refurbished 757s on the more expensive side could be up to $40 million. For the Tu-204, information about prices is pretty scarce. Since Tupolev is still producing this aircraft, a brand new price could be somewhere between $40 to $47 million. In terms of operating costs, an average airline could spend anywhere from $5,000 to $10,000 per hour flying the 757-200. This is decently cheap because of the modern, efficient engines. Airlines could choose between the Rolls-Royce RB211 or the Pratt & Whitney PW2000. My best estimate for the Tu-204's operating cost is somewhere within the ballpark of $7,000 to $20,000 per hour. It's actually up to par with the 757, being just as, if not more, fuel efficient. Airlines could choose between, again, the Rolls-Royce RB211 or another Russian engine I'm not going to attempt to pronounce. So, a final verdict. Which plane is actually better? Well, honestly, it's very subjective and depends on a lot of factors. But if we're talking generally, in terms of technology, reliability, and overall successfulness, the 757 definitely takes the cake. But yeah, that's pretty much it. Thanks for watching and bye.